Hello everyone. Today we're going to be doing some exploration for some stocks. All right. Now, exploration in this game is high risk, high reward unless you do this in a high security space. And right now we're in null security space. You know. And today we're using a cheap T1 Alpha Clone frigate build, and I'll show you the fit right now. So all you really need is a core probe launcher, data analyzer 1, relic analyzer 1, and right now we have a scan range finding array just for a little boost, which you can skill into pretty relatively easily. Here are the requirements, all alpha clone skills, and I have a few add-ons like nanofiber internal structures, just to improve the ship's velocity and maneuverability at the expense of hull strength, because we're not really doing any combat, so the lighter we are, the better. The faster we're going to be at, being able to GTFO out of sights. Relatively easy. You can get lucky and make hundreds of millions of ISK if you were to be careful and probably use your D-scan when you can. I had 2 other people on local. I actually 10 other people on local, so I'm going to scan down the sites, at least show you how to do that, and not really going to do them. It's risky right now. So in your UI you have if you hit Alt P, it opens up this probe scanner map. You just have to be patient when you are scanning out sites to not mess up, or you're gonna have to redo the progress you had. Now, all the faction tier 1 frigates are all relatively pretty good. Let's go review them right now. So the Amara has the Magnate, right? They're all relatively the same. Some of them have low more mid slots or low slots than the other. All have the same bonuses, roughly. So the Minotaur has the Magnate. The Caldari has the Heron, which is what I'm currently in. Um, Galente has the Imicus. So I'm not really that big of a fan of how it looks. And the Minotaur has the Probe. The Probe frigate kind of looks like a satellite dish, honestly. The way this ship looks, it's pretty cool. It's like steampunk, but they're all really good ships. You could choose any one ship that you've skilled in at least for frigates. Whether that's Galente, Minotaur, Caldari, or Amar. What you would want to do is once you're in high security space, low security space, null, or normal space, once you have your probes reloaded into your launcher, right here, you can see when these probes are on top, the icon that they're loaded. Hit the launch probe icon using B if you want to do a shortcut. And the easiest way really to scan down these sites is you want to filter out all the anomalies. You want to filter out all the non-potential data or relic sites. And all these sites, for the most part, we're not doing. These are all combat sites or gas sites. So you want to filter out all anomalies, so you have only cosmic signatures on your UI. That way, it's not cluttered with useless information that we do not need to know. So what we want to do is double click on the middle of your red signatures, cosmic signatures to zero them in. Make this bigger for y'all. Always want to be using D-scan while you're, especially in null security space. That way we know we're not getting hunted down in our safe spot. So ideally you would want to make sure your probes are on pinpoint formation. That way they're all clustered. And you could flip axes by double clicking anywhere in this UI. The goal is to get the cosmic signatures X to be in the middle of this box that's in the middle of your probes. And so it takes some time, but you don't want to have this red circle to be too small or too big inside of your layout. You don't want to scan it like this because it's gonna fail to. You don't want to have too big either. It just takes time. This is perfect right here, and it takes me about 7.5 seconds to scan, which is a relatively long time, but it's really not too bad. And after each scan, you want to bump it down one size. So now that red sphere is not there anymore, we could, realign our probes to the signature's new position. And then you would just cut down the probe size by 50% every time. After every scan until you get into the site. Now with my current skills, I can only scan down tier 3 sites. But oh, we have a wormhole. Shrink it down to 2 AU. Scan again. And you see this might. Never mind. I thought I messed up. As you see, it's a difficulty scanning level 1 site, and I'm skilled to only really do level 3 sites. Once you skill to astronomic range finding 2 in science, and you can fill one of these arrays, and you have your exploration skilled up. You can scanning difficulty. You can scan level 3 sites, no problem, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We could tell what skills we need. Oh, I forgot how to use this new UI. But once we... doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be, for the most part, in the middle. Shrink it down to 1 AU, scan it again. By double clicking on the background, you could, as I said earlier, you can switch axes, makes it 10 times easier to scan down these signatures. As you see, it's an unstable wormhole, XZ120. We can't really tell what type of worm was until we warp 100 meters, which I recommend outside of it, and then we can check its properties. But to recall scan probes, you just recover active probes. You don't want to jump to the next system without these probes recovered, or you'll lose them. And to relaunch them, you right click your course scanner probe once, and you just hit reload. Now, if you had 16 cores and you would warp out a system, it would automatically reload itself, but you only need 8. And I just came unprepared a little bit. But we're launching probes again. We're going to scan on the second anomaly, and if you know you're not going to go to this cosmic signature, you just right click and ignore result. That way, that's less clutter on our scanner. Put in the middle, double click, go up with it, double click, everything looks fine. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's just scanning the perfect area that we need to scan. Now I could show an example of that in a second after we do our first scan. Now usually when it splits into two like this, you want to sit on the box in the middle of the line and then lower it like this. Now, if I were to scan it how it is exactly right now, it wouldn't scan it properly, and we would actually lose percentage of signal. And if it was too large of an area, the same thing would occur. These can kind of be funny. You would scan it in the hopes that it would become one signature. It's a little tricky, but usually when this happens, it's no big deal. As you see, we actually got a better signal on it, so now we could pinpoint a lot easier and scan down a lot faster. Very time-consuming process, but very rewarding. You can actually find data or relic sites. Double click, center, straight down. Rinse and repeat every time. The more you do it, the better you're gonna get. Practice makes perfect. I enjoy doing lots of exploration. Definitely more than I do mining. Still a good active way of getting ISK. Kind of hit or miss. Sometimes you can find as you can see, it's a gas site scanning difficulty level 4, which that's not what we're looking for. So recover probes. Reload them, and I'll catch back to you when I'm in a new system and we found a data or relic site. Okay, so here we just scan down a relic site, which is what we're here to look for. Relic sites tend to have better drops and more loot than data sites do, but I still would definitely hop on doing data sites if you can't find any relic sites. So, to be safe, if you're unsure if the site there's a sleeper site, wiki the name of the site. Now, usually if it's a Ruin Angel site or Ruin Caristus site, it's usually safe. Unless you're in wormhole space, you're not really gonna get sleeper sites very often. And most of the time, they're gonna be pretty rare. But if you're unsure, warp within 100 kilometers, see what's in the system, and then just warp out if they have NPCs there. But if you know it's safe, just warp to 0. That way you're not very far away from all these all the data caches or relic caches. We don't need this no more. Something out. So another important thing is you want to lock on as many crates as possible and use your cargo scanner to see which sites have loot. It's not necessary, but it's nice to be able to know if you're wasting your time on some of these caches. Like this one, for instance, only has 135,000, which is nothing. So we're gonna unlock target. This one has 9 million. That is fat. Whew. That is nice. So what you want to do is, to be safe, there's no one in local, but if you want to be safe about it, you can get within 5 kilometers and align to a safe spot or a planet. So if anyone were to warp in this site, you're already aligned and you can just jump. It's probably your safest bet. But in order to do these sites, you need to be within 5,000 meters. If not, I mean, they're going to be unable to actually use your analyzer. But once you lock down the cache, you could use your analyzer on it now. This minigame is relatively easy. I'm not gonna try to spend too much time explaining how this minigame works. But you want to abide by rules of 6s, and I'll show you that in a minute. This orange bar, your virus coherence, is your health, and your virus strength is how much damage you do to other viruses on the board. And the goal is to find the gate, which allows you access to this loot. Now you only have 2 attempts. You only have 2 attempts at this minigame before this cache will blow up. It's kind of like Minesweeper in a sense. As you can see, this is a 1, so there's one of these touching is going to be an item. Like this data cache, these are kind of 50-50 chances of giving you something, a utility item, or to be a virus. Like this one will heal any other viruses on the board, so we want to get rid of it ASAP. Oh, that reduces our damage. That reduces our damage. Rules of 6s, these are all safe. Oh, there we go. Repair tool. Anytime there's 6 connections attached to one node, it's a guaranteed safe spot. Now, if this happens to be a virus, then you know that the gate is touching. Oh, that's unfortunate. Move up here. Another repair tool. Should come in handy. 5, 4, 4, 5, 5, 4, 5. So we failed that hack, but it's gonna happen. Just take your time. Be patient. 4. Rules of 6. 1's touching. Oh, and we found the system core. So it has 90 health and it does 10 damage to us per turn. Luckily, we have enough health to kill it. Open cargo, and then loot all. Untrack target. Cargo scan. You're gonna blow them. You're gonna blow a few up. 1.8 mil. You're gonna blow a lot of them up, but it's just part of the game. I always want to be checking local or D-scan if you're in wormhole space. If you want to get to null security from high security relatively fast, you could buy these needle jack noise filaments, and it'll TP you to a random null security system that shouldn't have lots of people. That's the way I do it. And you know, null security systems have some of the highest loot drops in these exploration sites, besides wormhole space. But I advise just popping filaments instead of jumping from gate to gate and risk getting trapped in a bubble, especially if you're an alpha clone who has no covert ops cloaks or anything like that. And your best bet going back to high security space is through scanning down a wormhole high security exit in system. But that takes some time. It's worth it though. Got an item. 6, 4. one. Now this kernel rot utility item halves the HP of whatever you use it on. So I did 25 damage to it. Now, if you're able to destroy the virus with your turn, you won't take any damage. Really important to use your items. Well, oh, we found the gate. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Know what I'm saying? Hey, you can control click to lock targets instead of having to right click and do all that, but this will save you some time. That's the one we scanned earlier with 300,000. Cargo scan, this Angel remains. Scan this rubble. Again, all this is not really worth looting in my opinion. Oh, okay, 11 mil. Definitely worth. Now, some of these crate caches are going to be harder than the others. There's green tier, yellow tier, and red tier. Red tier is going to have red tier is going to introduce a new utility item and a virus that nerfs your damage. Yellow caches are going to not have that, but they're going to have the virus that heals the virus that heals other viruses that are on the board. So you want to destroy those first. But we're orbiting. While we get started on the minigame again. But be patient. Remember your rules of sixes. Like this one. Save spot so we can. Oh. The item. We'll get rid of this. Whew. That's a lot of damage. Oh! We found the gate rules through rules of sixes. Now it's like base, you can find the gate like 4 turns out. So, oh, staunch, baby. Easy money, easy money. Now, sometimes you can find, it can take 2 hours to find relic and dash sites, or you can get lucky and find 5 sites in any system. It's not steady, consistent loot. It's not consistent-ish as much as other activities, but you can get really lucky and make a lot of ish very quickly. The hardest part is going to be, going to the station and selling it. Like I said, you can do this in high sec. You're not going to make as much money, but for alpha clone, you could, if you're looking to plex your account off of just doing exploration, it's possible. But now this is the end of my exploration guide for alpha clones. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you want to. This is the loot that I've accumulated over only doing 2 sites, 36 mil. So if you just consistently do this, and get your reps in, it's relatively easy, and you shouldn't have a hard time after doing it for a certain amount of time. But that's all.